Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hey everyone, welcome to J is for Justice podcast. I am your host Jay, and welcome to my channel with my crooked glasses today. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. It is Friday. This is our 3 p.m. live. I'm sorry for my tardiness, but I was getting everything together for today's live. Let's see who we've got. I don't see chat in the StreamYards today. It's all messed up. So I won't be able to pen your comments, and I'm really pissed off about that, but I will do my best. Hello, Rexy, Mary, Stacy, Amy Perry, Casey, Mike Sandman. Hi, Mike, Casey, and who else? We got Lisa. Amy Perry has been a member for 5 months. Replay crew, what up? Charmed Girl. All right, here we get to, I got some gifts. Charmed Girl, thank you so much. You guys know, if you've watched me for a while, I'm always trying to improve this stream, and Charm Girl sent me this awesome, I have to put it together, but it holds your monitor, your camera, your lights. It's gonna free up my desk, your mic. Thank you so much, Charm Girl. And then Tiffany, I got my favorite candies and stuff. I got, these are Jolly Rancher gummy sours. Look at this big bag, you guys. She got this from the Amazon wish list. And then another one of my faves, Twizzlers. I mean, these weigh like 5 pounds, you guys. Tiffany, thank you. And then, last but not least, for the fur babies, they got some soft and chewy milk bones. Thank you so much, Tiff. Always appreciate you guys' gifts. The dogs love it when they see Amazon. They may bark, but they come to me like, what's for me? What's for me? So thank you so much. I know I'm going to be like on a sugar high, but I'm like I'm a sweets fan. Hello, Ann Pulley. I know, it's so nice. So yeah, I'm excited to get that thing put together. I hope that I can figure it out. I'm a little challenged when it comes to putting things with a lot of pieces together. It's not the easiest thing to do. Like sometimes I've had to take like things apart because I put them together backwards and shit like that. No, they weren't delivered by drone. I can't imagine what the fur babies would do at the drone. They go nuts at the people, but they love them. They love them. And they come to me and they sniff like, is it me? Is it for me? Is there anything for me? So thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate you. Hey, Krugsies. Today's live, we're going to go through, it's called The Path O' the Killer. I know, I'm all caps for sweets too. 11 months, Angie B. Congratulations. Jill Pill. Yes. This is the virtual tour. I don't know how I didn't see this before, but this is pretty amazing stuff here. Oops. Okay, and let's get into it. I've also got some Google Earth to do with you guys as well. What's up, Lisa? Jay, what do you put in your coffee? Lots o' creamer. My fave right now, I switch it up. Hey, HJ. I switch it up because I get tired of it. So right now my fave is like oat milk. The Oatly oat milk. I love it because you can like froth it. Michael Faraday. One thing that's bothering me about this case is why were 2 of the victims found in the bathroom? I'm wondering if he moved them as in staging them. I don't think they were. I think that was the wording. I was confused on that too, Michael. And I've got the affidavit pulled up, and let's read through that because the way it's worded, it sounds like they're in the bathroom, but I think he's just noted that there's a bathroom. So let's see. It's when they're taking the the walkthrough. It says, because I reread that like 3 times last night because I was like, were they in the bathroom? Okay, let me share this with you guys. So it says right here, Officer Smith and I then walked upstairs to the second floor. Officer Smith directed me down the hallway to the west bedroom on the second floor, which I later learned through Xana's driver's license was Xana Kernodle's room. Just before this room was a bathroom door on the south side. This is where it gets confusing. It's just the wording. Just before this room was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body. See, just before this room. See, what he's saying is he identified Xana's room, and then he's just saying just before this room was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway, period. Liz is the biz. Welcome, babe. Welcome to the fam. As I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Kernodle's. So the room is just before this room, and the room is Xana's room. It's a little confusing with the wording. And then it says, as I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Kernodle's, laying on the floor. Kernodle was deceased with wounds which appeared to have been caused by an edged weapon. Also in the room is a male, identified as Ethan Chapin. So I think it was just the wording of it. Because I got like super confused on that as well. But thank you for mentioning that, because that's a good thing to clear up. He's 6 foot tall. Yeah, so if you go down that hallway, which we'll go through it. We're going to go through it with a fine tooth comb right now. But I want to put a poll up for you guys to get with while we are streaming here. Stacy, thank you for being in the fam for 2 months. Hopefully for much longer to come. All right, here's your poll for today. It's going to be, yeah, I agree, Michael. But does that make sense? I think that's how it's supposed to be. Do you think Bryan saw DM on his way out? That is your poll for today. The hot pink hands are in the emojis. They're new emojis. Hi, Joe Bill. Joe Bill. I think he came back to look for the chef, but got spooked. And he's not going to admit it. I agree, Jill Pill, but it's good to sort it out. If we could have seen his expression upon learning D saw him. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she told him that, hi, Jamie, love you too. I'm sure that DM told the cops what his face looked like, but she could only see the eyes, the creepy ass eyes. Oh, do you guys? Well, if you don't know, just don't vote, because I want to know the ones that actually think that he either did or didn't. There's a lot more info we don't know. For sure. I don't think he saw her either. That's my opinion. I don't think he saw her. Do you guys like my little cactus back here? Isn't she cute? She's flipping the bird like a gazillion times. She's the best cactus ever. She's like my favorite cactus. So that's why I brought her in. Plus, it was getting chilly outside. We had like a cold snap, so. Woke up this morning feeling like the air was on. Yep, I'll show everything, Frank. Okay, let's get into it. All right. Much gratitude to whoever created this, because it's pretty damn amazing. Okay, so you see here, we can walk all around outside. There's aerial view and all this. What I want to do first is I want to go, because we can drag all around. You guys can let me know where you want me to go. Like, he drove up and down Queen Road. We can go through that later. But I want to enter the house first. So as we enter the house, and we're going to take our time doing this. So if you guys are in a big hurry, you might want to like join the replay crew and put it on fast speed, because I'm going to take my time going through this here. And I want to make it the best I can for you guys to see. Let me get this stupid banner off here. How's that? Better? Okay, so we are inside the house, walking right in the front door. To the right is a bedroom. To the left is a bedroom. I don't know where B, I don't know what her last name is. We'll just call her B, because I don't want to use these girls' names. I don't know what, I can only imagine what they're going through. I'm not here to victimize victims. So I'm just going to use their initials. So do we know which room B was in? Why? Where are you at, Joe, that you're hot? Hi, Potato. Potato in the house. B was in that room to the left. Okay, so over here, bedroom 1A. 6 feet of pure shit. Are you talking about snow? Oh, she was in 1B? Jill, was she in 1P? Or how do we know? In Houston, 80 degrees. That's perfect. Right. So was she under Xana's room then in here? Nope. It says here this bedroom was vacant. Nope. Because we got to read our handy dandy notes. Confirmed as Bethany Funk's room. From affidavit page 2. 2 of the interviews included BF and DM. It's BF, by the way. BF and DM were inside the King Road residence at the time of the homicides and were roommates to the victims. BF's bedroom was located on the east side. There you go, Mary P. Good job. Of the first floor of the King Road residence. And they have their source. So this is, if you're on the bed, this is what the heck just happened. This is what it looks like. So that's the front window. And I think they had curtains, if I'm not mistaken. Or did this window have blinds and the other one have curtains? So she was sleeping in here. Now let's travel back down the hallway, because right here is the utility room. And then we're going to go. This is just amazing, isn't it? We're going to go up to floor 2. So now we're upstairs. In the living area. So Bethany is right below here. Or sorry, BM is right below here. Or BF. BF is right below the living area. So then if we go, we're not going to go to Xana's room yet, but if we go through here and look from the stairs to the living area. See this step up? This was like added on or something. So someone who's over here may not necessarily hear anyone who's way over here and up. Like if you're up here, how in the world is BF going to hear you underneath this floor? I feel like BF wouldn't hear anything. So let's continue. So let's go back out in the living room like we do. And we're going to just go around this way. Okay. So when we were just talking about the affidavit, when the cop was walked down this hallway, he was just noting that there's a bathroom on the left and a bedroom down at the end. So there's the bathroom door. And then here, this would be Xana's bedroom. And this is just a rendition, you guys. I don't think this is exactly what it is, but it's like a 2-scale rendition. It's amazing. I had a hard time telling if it was real. But this would be Xana's bedroom here. Okay. So the blood that we all saw dripping out of the foundation would be on this wall. It says this is the wall where a red substance is seen trickling down the foundations at the rear of the house. There is a debate about whether this might be blood or simply a leaking pipe. So I guess you guys can be the judge. That would be the wall. Here's a 3D. Wow. Wow. Can you guys see that? Oh, you can't. Son of a gun. Did I ask you to do that? I wish I could zoom in without losing the... Oh, there we go. I guess I can't make it bigger. Dang it. But you guys get the gist, right? Do you guys think that's blood? It said Xana was found on the floor. So there's not a whole lot of room if there's a double bed in there, and I don't know if that's confirmed to be a double bed. It's awful. Oh, whoever did this has the skills to pay the bills. For real. They're very thorough. I think his name's in here somewhere. I don't know how to find it now. But he has a Twitter account. But yeah, it's absolutely chilling. Because there's not a whole lot of room for that bed. If you look at the shape of the room. So do we think she's like between the bed and the floor, like between the bed and the wall on the floor? I think it's blood too. I hate to say that, but oops, I didn't mean to turn on that music. Sorry. Okay, so there's Xana's room. So now that I just wanted to show you guys the bathroom too. Like, so now we're going to do what we think the killer did anyways. So we're going to go back outside. And we're going to take a look. So this is 11 King Road, Taylor Avenue, and this is Sigma Chi. 1 is King Road, 2 is Taylor Avenue, and 3 is Sigma Chi. And I will put the link to this in the description so you guys can obsess on it in your own time as well. A drone of 1122 King Road showing the rear kitchen sliding patio doors, which may have been the intruder's exit and entry. I guess we can't enter the house from the rear. Okay, so we do have to go inside via this route. So let's go through here. And now we're in the kitchen. Okay, so this is where we think he came in. And we know he exited because DM said that he went towards that sliding glass door. So this is the view out of the kitchen patio door. Interesting, though, when you look this way, but when you see the shots that like photo or Fox got all the photos from, you know, beyond there, like if you were a peeping Tom, what it would look like. And you could literally find spaces to see right between those trees. That's what creeps me out so much. Is looking out, you wouldn't notice that. I mean, you can see that truck up here. So there's a little gap, but from inside the house, you're not going to notice it as much as if you're outside in the wide open looking at their windows. It's just so intrusive to think about. All right. So this right here, this gray, this is also Xana's wall. So just beyond this wall is a neighbor, and that's where the camera was. And I'll show you. Let's go back outside. Sorry. I don't know. The camera. Hang on. That picked up the sounds is right here. Or right here, rather. No, wait. It must be right over here, this house. Because it was 50 feet from Xana's bedroom. So I'm assuming this house right here is what picked up the muffled barking. Because we know Murphy was right here. Okay? And this is the point I wanted to make. If they heard Murphy, who was right here, you know, muffled barks, this, that. They definitely picked up sound from here. This is way closer to here than this is. So you guys, they have a lot more audio, video stuff. And I'm sure it's chilling if you think about that. If you think about Murphy being locked in this room, barking, think about what was happening in here. Or possibly even in here in the kitchen. Because we don't know where, well, we know they were dead in here, but we don't know if they ran from him. I mean, we don't know what happened. But the other thing I wanted to bring up was the van's shoe print. That was in the affidavit as well. They got a latent shoe print. They didn't say the size. They didn't say, you know, if it was the killer's or if it wasn't. So I went back to the photos from that day, from November the 13th, when they did those group photos. And the only one in those photos that's wearing Vans is Xana. Xana is actually wearing high top Vans. Could the footprint have been Xana's or is it the killer's? They didn't specify. All they put in there was that there was a bloody shoe print. So do you think that it's possible it was Xana's? What are your guys' thoughts on that? Yeah. Busted flush. I'm going to go in there. No, the dog was in Kaylee's room. And I think the story about the dog being found roaming was for the killer's benefit. I think the killer put the dog in Kaylee's room and locked it in there. You think it's the killer's shoe print? I know. I was like, why would she be wearing shoes at 4 a.m? I thought so too, Cheryl. I don't see him wearing Vans. And I might be wrong, but I just don't see him wearing Vans. Oh, no, Cujo. They could have several footprints. They only mentioned one in the affidavit. So the affidavit doesn't have everything. To keep the dog out of the way. Let me see. Let me go back to the affidavit and see what I thought it just said a Latin or Latin, whatever, shoe print. Hang on, I'm scrolling to see. So it says, during the processing of the crime scene, investigators found a Latin shoe print. This was located during the second processing of the crime scene. So they didn't find it. And I found some things in here that are kind of concerning. I'm definitely not a lawyer or a detective or any type of professional in this matter. But there's a couple things that I found that I wanted to point out that I thought, yikes, that the defense might be able to pick through. But let's continue reading this. This was located during the second processing of the crime scene by the ISP forensic team by first using a presumptive blood test and then amino black, a protein stain that detects the presence of cellular material. The detective shoe print showed a diamond-shaped pattern similar to the pattern of a Vans type shoe sole, just outside the door of DM's bedroom, located on the second floor. This is consistent with DM's statement regarding the suspect's path of travel. So they're making They're alluding to the fact that it is the suspects with that last sentence, I think. This is consistent with DM's statement regarding the suspect's path of travel. So that's all it says about that. All right, let's go back in and let's take a gander around the house. So we're in the kitchen. This is where the killer would have come in. So if we assume he came in, where do you guys think he went first? Do you think he went upstairs first? Because I do. Xana ordered DoorDash, so maybe she left her shoes on until the order arrived. Right. I don't know where they had DoorDash drop their stuff. No, she didn't see him leave, but they're assuming and they're not putting everything in. They may have proof that he left through the back door. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? So all we're going off of is what we know, and what we know is in the affidavit. But there's more to this case than what's in the affidavit, for sure. Do I need to slow down chat, you guys? Okay. So if we assume he went upstairs, so he came in and he went up these stairs. Now, in the house, you guys would have to tell me from the Zillow pictures, are these stairs carpeted or are they wood? Because to me, that would make a huge difference. Even with people running up and down carpeted stairs, you'd hear that. So that's one thing that I wanted to talk about with DM being in here. These stairs, you would think you would hear, going up, going down, going up, going down. I mean, he could have tiptoed up, I guess, tiptoed through the tulips. So let's go up. The wood squeaks. Yeah, I think that was one of the one of the people that used to live in that house. Okay, so we're upstairs. Here's the stairs. He comes up. And then it says, I followed Officer Smith upstairs to the third floor of the residence. The third floor consisted of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side was Kaylee's. I later learned from a review of Officer Nunez's body camera there was a dog in the room when Moscow police officers initially responded. The dog belonged to Gonsalves, I'm trying to say her name correctly, and her ex-boyfriend Jack. I found from my interview with Jack on November 13th, he talked to Jack on the day of the murders, that he and Kaylee shared the dog. And then Officer Smith pointed out a small bathroom on the east side, and this bathroom shared a wall with Madison Mogen's bedroom. So I don't know why Officer Smith pointed out the bathroom, because there's nothing in the affidavit about the bathroom. But there could be something that we don't know. So there's the bathroom. He may have cleaned he may have went in here. I don't know. Just a little half bath with a shower. So this is the room that Madison and Kaylee were in. This is Maddie's room. And it's small, and they were both on this twin bed together. Exactly. I think so too, Kaylee. I later noticed what appeared to be a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed next to Mogen's right side when viewed from the door. The sheath was later processed and had K-Bar, U.S.C, and the United States Marine Corps Eagle Globe and anchor insignia stamped on the outside of it. The Idaho State Lab later located a single source of male DNA left on the button snap of the knife sheath. So right here is where they found the male DNA. And then this is looking down on their bed and then looking at the door from where they were just sleeping. And so if you check this out, that knife is not straight from like a Marine. Watch. This is right from their the K-Bar site. They all have this insignia. If you buy the straight edge, this is the most famous fixed blade knife in the world. Our K-Bar was designed to serve our troops during World War II and is still doing its job with honors 70 years later. leather sheath included. Best seller. So it's not like this is rare. This isn't some collector items from someone in the military. This is something anybody can buy. I do think so, Sammy. I do think it's very possible. But if we go back here, I went to this site as well. Check this out. Remember they said it was a serrated edge? The one I just showed and the one that the news is showing does not have a serrated edge. But check this out. Wait, you can actually, I think you can filter. So that's the best seller, but then there's also the serrated edge one, and it does have the military insignia. I just have to find it. Okay. United States Marine Corps K-bar right here. The legendary K-bar updated with a serrated edge to better cut synthetic and looped materials and a hard plastic moly compatible sheath. But I guess he had the leather sheath. So maybe it wasn't this one. I thought they said it was a serrated edge. Oh, here's what. Yeah, here it is. Right here. See how it has these? And it has the leather sheath. So watch this. Google K-bar serrated knife U.S.C. And then we go to Google Shopping. And you can buy it at Sportsman's Warehouse. You can buy it Forestry. You can buy it all over the place. Army Surplus World. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I thought I saw that Walmart had it, but maybe I'm wrong. There was a store that had it that I saw. But at any rate, I think it's, like they said, the serrated edge. It's horrible. Look how sharp it is. You can buy it at Cabela's. And it's on sale at Cabela's. So it's not anything that's rare. So that's what I wanted. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace. Yep. But that's what I wanted to. And there's the button that they found the DNA on. That snap. So what I'm wondering is there some kind of a hunting or like outdoorsy, like Cabela's or, Dick's Sporting Goods? I don't know, any of these sporting goods stores near where he went to the Albertsons. So if we go back to our affidavit, and let's see where that is. Albertsons. Isn't it 2 A's? Albertson? Where does it? Oh, gosh, I can't find it. If you guys can find me the address or the area of that Albertsons or the town, I want to see what other stores are around the Albertsons. Okay, good question. Why wasn't the sheath attached to his body? That's the whole point. Do you guys think he possibly left it there as a see if you can catch me, thinking he's so clever? Could he have left it there on purpose? Albertsons, yeah, I know it's 45 minutes away. I want to see what other stores are around there. Yeah, because there's no perfect crime. Thank you, Jeff H. Jeff H. for the win. Okay, so that would be, let me see, Jeff H. 400 Bridge Street. Bear with me, you guys. I'm manning this thing. I'm manning this ship alone today. And you guys are my guiders. Is that kind of scary? 400 Bridge Street. What's the name of the town? The sheath could have come off in the fight, too. But did he fight with Maddie and Kaylee? Because that's where it was found. Clarkston, Washington, right? Thank you, CR. So much appreciated. Thank you for the super sticker. You guys are all my co-pilots. Jaja. Oh, it would be interesting to know if it was intact or if it was ripped. I don't think it was ripped. If those things are used for the military, they ain't ripping. They aren't ripping. But it is just a snap. I think he could have left it there on purpose. I think that's entirely possible. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you guys the Albertsons. Let's go to Albertsons now. Google Earth. Jay Hughes in it. Jay Hughes in it. There's the Albertsons right smack dab in the middle of your screen. So let's go. There's a Costco. Usually where there's a Costco, there is some kind of, I don't know if all of those stores still exist, like Gander Mountain. But let's take a look. Let's go down to Albertsons. And he went to Albertsons before the murders. Okay, that's what I believe. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I could have sworn he went before. And that's why I was wondering what was in this area, if he possibly went and bought the knife. Look at those mountains, y'all. It is so pretty there. See, there's like a Joanne Fabrics. There's got to be other shiz. These big box stores are always on top of each other. Dollar Tree, Cost Cutters, Motel 6, McDonald's. What else do we have? Because I'm just nosy. That's Costco. Can I put like stores? And will it show me all stores? Don't run any red lights. He better not have messed with Joanne Fabrics. Oh my God. That's the best comment today, I think. Don't mess with Joanne's, dude. And I agree, that knife is terrifying looking. Crime solver, thank you so much. I know. Don't mess with Joanne's, dude. Okay, so these are some of the stores: Walmart, Joann's, Dollar Tree, Costco, Albertsons, Sherman's True Value Hardware, Sativa Sisters. Maybe if he went to Sativa Sisters, he wouldn't have done this shit. Mattress Firm, Walgreens, Tin Can Company. Let's see. Sporting Goods, Clarkston. Wow. Big Five Sporting Goods in Lewiston. Sportsman's Warehouse, Follett's Mountain Sports. These are all in Lewiston. Where is Lewiston compared to where we're at? Lewiston to Clarkston. Oh, they're right next to each other. So they're basically the same community. They're kind of shared. But the Albertsons he went to was way over here, which is so weird. Why did he do that? I want to know what he bought at Albertsons. Okay. Well, we won't know until he went to do something to be, you know, incognito, for lack of a better term. Sorry, potato. Where'd our walkthrough go? Here? Yep. Okay. So now we're back in Maddie's bedroom. And this is where we believe the first attack occurred. Yeah, I know Albertsons is like a grocery store, which is odd for them to put that in there, right? Or are they just showing that they were following him? He was at Albertsons at 12:45 on 11/13. So he went to the Albertsons right after the murders. Thank you for clearing that up. Cujo says there's some scary knives you can buy from Amazon endorsed by Sylvester Stallone. Nope, crime solver, that's the standard sheath that comes with that knife. So it's not specially given to just military people or anything like that. I mean, I don't think it would be a date, you guys. No. I don't know. I don't know how they're connected, but at any rate, we are in Maddie's bedroom. This is where Kaylee and Madison were found in the same bed. And I think we're to assume that they were sleeping. But we don't know for sure. We don't know who had the defensive wounds. So now he does that. But this is the room that Murphy was in. This is Kaylee's room. So Murphy is in here running around. So considering that DM, and this is the interesting part, this room and this room, the bathroom and the bedroom, are right above DM. So would she hear also if there was running around in here? Because if you remember, she said that it sounded like Kaylee was playing with her dog. Oh, you think Kay was chased from her room? Wiki, wiki, wiki. Welcome to Roberta. Welcome to the fam. Right. I know Albertsons is grocery. I'm just saying, like, was there another store there that he went to and they didn't need to put that in there? Mike Sanders says, I could be wrong, but I think the military use a hard case, not leather. So that's all for novelty purposes. Well, they said he went into the Albertsons and bought unknown items. Well, at any rate, when the cops got there, Murphy was in this room by himself. And I would have to assume that the sound that DM heard was Murphy running around, and it sounded like he was being played with. It's interesting to note the kitchen is right below this room. Then we go back in the hallway. So here we have the two rooms over DM's room. Kaylee and Madison were found in here. Now we do this. We're the killer, right? Path O the killer. God. Someone could have gotten in their house and went in this attic. I mean, we can only really speculate, need some Z's, right? Because we don't know. We don't know how. All we know is they ended up in here together. We just don't know how they ended up there together. We just know that they did. And there's that trap door for the attic. You know, when you open those, like a ladder comes down. So he does what he does up here. Well, I think the only light that maybe was on was the good vibes sign. And I'm just assuming. I'm not, don't quote me on that, but it seemed like when they were there investigating around, they were doing it with just that good vibes sign on for a while. So he does what he does up there, and then he comes downstairs. So he's coming back down the stairs, and this coincides with DM's account, okay? So we're going to go through and read DM's account at the same time. DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the south, and I don't know why the word originally is in there. I don't know why that would be there. DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the south side of the second floor, because it makes it sound like she went to sleep somewhere else after that. And that's what's confusing. And maybe she did, and that's not in here. But it's just the weirdest wording. She originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. So did she come out when she was woken up by the dog and shit and go down to a downstairs bedroom? And we just don't know that? I don't know. Ooh, thank you so much, Jeff H. So then it says she was woken up approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Gonsalves playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which was located on the third floor. So That's the playing with the dog thing. A short time later, DM said she heard who she thought was Gonsalves say something to the effect of, "There's someone here." So this is my... Diddy87, thank you for looking that up. So Diddy87 looked up the Sherman's True Value that we mentioned, and she said it's very close to Albertsons and sells knives and also used knives. Very interesting. That's true, Mary. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense, but this is just so odd how it's worded. I mean, what's the point of having the word originally? Like, why not just say DM stated she went to sleep in her bedroom? Why do they have to put the word originally in there? Like, what would be the point of that? Why be overly wordy with a word you don't really need to use? If DM, yeah, Tam, I am. Oh my God, I wish I could pin your comment. Tam, I am. Okay, so they put the word originally in there. Why? Because to use the word originally, you would have had to have ended up somewhere else after. To originally be somewhere, and then later you're going to be somewhere else. So maybe that's not included in here. And her phone was like plugged in, and she ran really quick from one room to another and didn't have her phone. And that's why she sat there, because she was scared stiff and had nothing to call for help with. We don't know. But the word originally is interesting, and it may or may not be anything. Hello, CEO. Marina girl says a Facebook post said a friend of hers said that she went to the first floor after he left and stayed with the other roommate. Said they didn't call police because she just did a Molly. Don't know if it's true. Who does a Molly and then goes to bed? Russian aloha. I love you, babe, and I appreciate you and your chatting, but I had to delete your comment because we're not going to go in any direction of those roommates holding any responsibility and bearing any responsibility for these murders here. We are erring on the side of kindness here, and until we hear something else. Exactly. They don't go to sleep after they take a Molly. So I don't think that's true. So just everybody know that. I'm just going to say it. We're not going to in any way, shape, or form like infer that these girls had anything to do with it. All right. So, and if she did a Molly, it has nothing to do with her being killed. Or with her friends being killed. I know. I do too, Russian. I do. You know I love you. I just have to be careful. Albertsons would open early. Now, why do you think he did Xana and Ethan's room first, then went to the third floor? We know EDKH. How do you know that? We don't know how many interviews they had, though. And originally is not talking about the time of the interviews. Absolutely not. They don't put that in arrest affidavits. I agree, Sam K. Crime Solver, I already said I think it's Xana. I think Xana left a footprint. I think there's a lot of footprints. I mean, if you're going to go for the two girls, I mean, this DM is 19 years old, you guys. 19. 19. We have grown men coming at a 19-year-old. Whether or not you agree with her actions, she's 19. And four of her roommate or four of her friends were brutally slaughtered. Just a baby. My son survived an accident at 16 and still has major survivor's guilt and PTSD, and it's not a joke. So if you're here and you want to, shift blame on the survivors of this horrific crime, you might want to just leave because we're not going to go there. I think that person might be onto something about the heard Xana, because remember DM said she heard crying. Bruce says, I have heard she is the key to the prosecution. I bet she is. Just because she lived doesn't mean she's at fault. And it doesn't mean that anyone here sitting in a computer chair with a mic in front of their face should be judging her. I think that's awful. They're out on the porch. He could have studied at Lisa K. He planned this. Remember, he put a lot into this. Amazon's here again. And I didn't order anything. Yes, we should be thankful she survived. I think that I do too, Mary. I think D heard everything. I think that D heard X being killed. If affidavit of DM is in order, she heard first what sounded like Kaylee playing with the dog. Murders started on third floor, in my opinion. Unless Kaylee was playing with the dog. Wait a minute. What if Kaylee was playing with the dog? And that's when it has not been mentioned, Jeremy. I don't know if he's been in there, but you could study it from Zillow. Yeah, Mike Sanner. No, they're saying, give me my box. Hey, Gons. She should be thankful she opened her door to see that scumbag. Yes. Matt Bond, thank you for your super chat. I think he went to third floor first. The sheaf would be where he took it off the knife in theory. D probably saw him come out of X's room. Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, I mean, I did. I agree, Jill Pill. Thank you, Scottish Lass. Sending love from Scotland. That's so amazing. Do you think that I know, like, I still want to know how he found them, but Maybe Dylan only opened the door a crack, which means she saw his face. Right. You guys, all these idiots are going to eat their words when it goes to trial, or if he pleads guilty and we get discovery. They're all going to eat their words because this young girl, this little 19-year-old girl who you see, I'm going to pull up the picture of the Idaho 4 on the day of that murder and remind you, if it's still up. I don't know. Oh, they blurred them out. See, I have the one that shows the roommates. And you know what? Everybody's seen their faces, but it's like, remember, look, here they are. And I love this this title. Did a serial killer murder them? But anyway, damn it. Look at them. I know you guys can see that. These two girls are absolutely lucky to be alive. And you have grown men coming at them. Why didn't you call 911? It makes me ill. So that's why I don't want it here. Because there's enough horrible shit in this case without adding grown men and women targeting and re-victimizing these girls. What would you do if you heard all your people in your house get brutally murdered and you knew they were dead? What if she knew they were all dead? What if she knew that? What if she heard Xana? What if she heard, she heard more than what's in the affidavit. And when people find out that she heard more than that, oh, are they going to feel stupid? She's got to live with the fact that she saw the guy who just murdered her friend, and he walked right past her and didn't murder her. She has to live with that. Not that it's her fault, but that's what survivor's guilt is. She'll never be the same. She'll never feel safe. You've got to remember, this girl was in fucking bed. She was in bed, sleeping in her bedroom. What? Do you think that she's going to feel comfortable sleeping in her bed anymore? Where's your most comfortable place? Where's your safe place? Is it your bed? Under your covers? In the comfort of your room that you've decorated and made yours? Because this motherfucker took that away from her. The poor girl can't even sleep. That's what babies are born into this world, naturally just sleeping. The term sleep like a baby will never, ever ring true for her again. I promise you that. I promise you that. This is way too horrific, and we only know part of it. We only know part of it. We don't even know the whole thing. We don't know what she saw. We don't know what she heard. I mean, can you imagine what it's like for her when it's time to go to bed? I can't. It actually makes me it makes my insides tighten up and feel sick to think what she goes through when it's nighttime. And if you can defend anyone who is re-victimizing that girl, I'm sorry. I get emotional over this shit. She's a kid. To me, she's a kid. And I don't play that with kids. Okay, enough about that. So he does what he does upstairs. We're just going to assume that he went up there first. And it might have been other ways that he did this. We're just going to go through this one theory. And then he comes down after that. And DM, for all intents and purposes, from what we know, is in this room. And, I think it's interesting to see this too, because how the door swings open. So if you picture, her cracking the door open, when he's coming this way, he may not have seen her. And I'll show you more of what I mean. We don't know if she originally went to sleep in one room and ended up in another room with no means of calling. Even if she had her phone, she may have been scared to fucking move. Like, if you heard your roommates get killed, and I'm pretty sure she did. If the shit was caught on a camera next door, 50 feet from Xana's room, she was a hell of a lot closer and way closer in earshot. There's a reason that girl didn't move, and it's not because she's in on it, or she didn't care, or she wasn't alarmed. She heard something so horrific, you guys, that she couldn't move. Do you know what that feels like? I hope you never know what that feels like. Yeah, we can go over that. Draw Latina, I don't know if you guys are familiar with her. If the mods can put Draw Latina's link in here. She did a video yesterday. She's a physician. I think she specializes in psychology, and she talked about shock and the different syndromes, like fight or flight. She said there's like 6 of them, and she goes over them and explains why she didn't move. I think she had balls to open the door too. I would have been in the closet in a ball, and I wouldn't have moved until I heard someone I know come in that bedroom. And I'm telling you. And if you really think that she was sleeping? You think she was sleeping like a baby? Come on, mods. Okay, so I want you to think about one more thing. Remember when Chief Fry and all these cops, their voices were shaking when they talked about this motherfucker? What made these grown law enforcement officers so shook that their voices were shaking? And you expect this 19-year-old girl to just combat this whole situation? If you think that, you can FDO. FDO. So let's go into her room. So she's in here. This is Bethany's room, or sorry, Dylan's room. So she heard who she thought was Kaylee say, "There's someone here." So this is what I wanted to ask. Do you guys think that Kaylee said it scared? I mean, there's someone here. Like, there's no expression related to that statement. So it could be that she just heard someone say, "There's someone here." Like, oh, if you're expecting someone, someone's here. Could that have been the DoorDash? It was around 4 a.m. A short time later, DM said she heard who she thought was Kaylee say something to the effect of, "There's someone here." But who would Xana have been talking to if Ethan was sleeping? Or do we think Ethan was sleeping? Because they left that open for interpretation too. They put the roommates were home and either sleeping or in their rooms by 4. Four o'clock was around the time. All this says approximate. Approximately 4 a.m. She heard the dog being played with in one of the bedrooms upstairs. And then she thought she heard Kaylee a short time later say, "There's someone here." A review of records obtained from a forensic download of Kernodle's phone showed this could have also been Kernodle, as her cellular phone indicated she was likely awake and using the TikTok app at 4:12. So who would she be saying, "Someone's here," if she's the one that ordered the food? Or was it that Xana or someone saw somebody and they were panicked and they said, "Someone's here," someone's here. I don't know. It could have just been, "Hey, someone's here." I'm sure they got DoorDash all the time. So that's up for interpretation as well. So then it says that DM got up and looked out her window. So she looked out the back. If she was in the second floor room, the only window looks out the back, and she didn't see anybody. I think if you're high on weed or if you're drinking, this shit's going to sober you up real quick. It was, well, a fixed knife just means it doesn't bend. Fixed means that it's a fixed blade. Serrated is the edge. Right? Then that was when she looked out her window and she did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. And then she opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Kernodle's room. DM then said she heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." I think whoever said that was right. That was, she was still alive. She was crying and still alive. And we know, yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying because the crying, it was after the DoorDash. The DoorDash was approximately 4 a.m. But they're saying 4:12 she was on TikTok. But they have the exact time of the DoorDash because when they drop off the DoorDash, they have to hit that button that says delivered. Thank you, Frankie. Aw, I love you too, girl. So they know when that DoorDash was dropped off. They just didn't put it in here. Hey, Punani. Do you think that Kaylee said someone is here and went to check in Maddie's room and confronted BK in there? That's why the sheath is in there. Maybe that's what we were thinking. I don't think that's Ethan, but that's a good point. It could be. I don't think it is though. Yeah, there's a lot of quotes. There's a lot of hodgepodge serial killer stuff in what he did. Oh, you're right. It doesn't say window. I added that word. Thank you for pointing that out. At 4:12, she looked out her bedroom, but didn't see anything. Shelby gifted a membership. Let's see who gets it. No, I don't think the killer was crying. Go, Joe. Welcome to the fam. Okay, we know. I think Xana and Ethan were on the second floor, then went to third floor. A small struggle happened and the sheath got pulled off. Then Xana was still alive. So he finished her and left. Yeah. Yeah, they are random. When you start chatting, it asks if you want to opt in to receive them if they're given out. It does say she looked out her bedroom, though. And they said she looked out 3 times, so. He left after he killed Xana, so he must have gone upstairs first. Well, and it's crazy because Steve said early on, like, she didn't need to go up. He didn't need to go up those stairs, he said. What does that mean? Yorkie, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Renee says, I like gifts. So that was the second time she opened her door. They just didn't word it like that. Hole in one, welcome to the fam. I have a feeling that wasn't Ethan either. Who was the target? Was it the house or the girls? I had that thought as well. Do you think that this was meant to be someone else? Is that what you guys mean? Do you think that he thought this was somebody else's house? But it couldn't be. Surely it couldn't be because he drove by there so many times. But that was another thing I wanted to point out from the security or from the affidavit. From the security cameras, him driving through there 12 times in different days. How do we know he didn't know someone in there that he hung out with? Welcome, Deanna K. Welcome to the fam. How do we know that he wasn't visiting someone there or dropping someone off or picking someone up? Or how do we know he didn't know someone in that neighborhood? Is that still possible? With what we know, it's possible. But there's so much more out there. I don't know. Like, could his defense say, well, he knows someone there? That's why he drove by there. That's why he was on that road. Mommy of 5, why do you think it was Maddie? Do you think that this guy went to the fraternity party that Ethan and Xana were at? Doing some stalking. What if he knows someone who lives in there? Hootie says, I think Xana was killed in the hallway to her room. I think he chased her there after running into her in the kitchen. Maybe she was in there with her DoorDash food because that's where the bag was, right? Not that, Tiffany M. Thank you for gifting a membership. How do we know he's not DoorDash? Yeah, I mean, they have. Yeah, that's true. But how would he just happen to get their order? That's random. Mommy of 5, welcome to the fam. I think that it's possible that he thought only Xana and Maddie were going to be in the house. You don't think he had anything to do with the fraternity? Think he was stalking the house, stalking the girls? I have no idea if his sister lived near. That's just been rumored. The Golden State Killer. There's a lot. It's kind of like a hodgepodge a little bit. He looks like Bundy in some pictures. And didn't the affidavit say it was Xana who placed the order? Yes. Didn't they say what? They spoke. They confirmed it with the DoorDash driver, they said. Or with DoorDash. Not that Tiffany M gifted another membership. Let's see who the lucky Roberter is. You're about to be changed into a Roberter or a Robertolino. I plead the 5th. Welcome. Okay, so the car was spotted on cam when he first got there. Let me see. And it's interesting how it's worded suspect vehicle 1 as well. Unique trauma obsessed. Welcome to the fam. Well, Marley, and that's what that's what Kaylee's dad said. If they were targeting Xana, they wouldn't have had to go upstairs. But if Maddie was also a target and he wanted to, kill them both, then he would go upstairs and downstairs. But what if he planned on, let's say Xana was the target, and he came in and he heard someone go, "Someone's here," from upstairs. And that's what made him go upstairs. Could that be what happened? If you guys think that Xana was the target, oh my gosh, you guys, Crime Solver, Daniel, Moonshadow, Heather, Lolo. Oh my God, thank you so much, you guys. Who gifted those? Jilly Bear, thank you. Exactly, KK Gons. Wow, that was amazing. Thanks, guys. Thanks. So maybe he heard that. Because we know they said the murders happened between 4 and 4:25. Could he have heard someone's here and he thought, oh shit. They're awake or something like that. It's all on Zillow, you guys. You can find the layout of the house. We all did. We all did. Think he met one of those girls around town and got rejected and then became obsessed. That's very, very possible. He walked in after DoorDash. Yeah, the vegan restaurant keeps coming up as well. Mm-hmm. Well, this is the room, sadly, that poor DM was in, which I didn't mean to go in that circle, but I would have been in here, in this closet, absolutely frozen, unable to move, in an absolute state of shock. That would be me. And then she's got this window here, and they focused a lot on this window with fingerprints and all of that. Remember, they were dusting this? And that was where she was. We thought that room was empty, but it was confirmed to be the room she was in. So right above here is Maddie's room. She would have heard everything, guys. She heard everything. He didn't have Instagram until his name was made, or until his name was made public. We watched it happen in real time. He had no Instagram account, this dude. Until his name was put out there, a bunch of fake accounts came up and started following Kaylee and all the other girls. It's fake. Isn't it just a damn shame that the DoorDash driver, the timing wasn't able to deter him from hurting them? Tim Allen, thank you for your super chat. Jay, the screen door was pretty loud when opened. Remember the first noise complaint with Kaylee, when she came out, the door was loud. Oh, the screen door was loud when it was opened. Hole in One just gifted 10 reverters. Holy shit! Wow, thank you so much, Hole in One. Holy. I wonder if I can at least add my reverter to this StreamYard. I'm lost without it, you know? We got to at least have our reverter when someone joins. Here we go. Thank you so much. We've got so many reverters.
Reverter.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we do need that 911 call. I agree. Thank you, you guys. I am overwhelmed by you guys. All right, so there's her window that if she would have looked out, maybe she would have seen that parking pad. And that's, I guess, why I assume that maybe she looked out the window. And she may have looked out the window as well, and it's not in there. This girl is probably their star witness. She saw the bushy-ass eyebrows. I can't even keep up with who's all members now. You guys are crazy. That's why golfers wear 2 pairs of pants in case they get a hole in one. Art, art, art. Hey, Olive. Why did he show back up to the house at 9 a.m.? Well, because sickos do that. Hey, Shiflet. Did you really hole in one? Was your name different? I know. Welcome, Lolo.
Roberta.
Mad Greek isn't strictly a vegan restaurant. It's a Greek restaurant, but they have vegan choices. Hey, Ezzy. Oh, my worst place to be is the dentist. Hey, excuse me just for 1 second. Yay, E-Star, you're a Roberta. Okay, sorry about that. That would be Stephen Bertolino, and that is the Brian Laundrie's parents' attorney. He could have gone back to see if he could get the sheath to see if cops were there. Would he take that chance, though? Roberta hates murder. Roberta hates murder. Are we sure Maddie's room was directly above Dylan? Yes. I think so. Because the other room had boxes stacked up in it, remember? Because of that case. That's why. I think he probably, yes, was totally Googling. They will find shit on his computer as well. Think about that. His phone, his computer, anything else that they got out of his apartment. Because if you look at the look on his face in that body cam, he was not expecting to get pulled over or caught. Okay, so DM opens her door, sees him. Okay, so anyways, he comes down from the upstairs. That's where we were. And he has to go here, right? So this is where he came from upstairs. Down this hallway, this is Xana and Ethan.
If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
It's a duck. All right, so God, that's just chilling, isn't it? That's what it looked like the night of the murders. That gives me goosebumps. This photo, it says, photo taken in the living room by this picture. This is Kaylee with BFDM before the murders took place. Standing in front of that sign. I've never seen this photo before. Oh, okay. I will, Olive. That's a good one. You do have a membership, Sweet Candy. You're green. I know Hootie, the computer. I agree, Joe Bell. Joe Bill. So that's the bathroom here. And then this is where Xana and Ethan were. As he approached the room, he could see a body identified as Kernodles laying on the floor. And also in the room was a male, and they don't say where Ethan was. They just say he was in the room. So if we go back, let's go back over here and look down that hallway. Picture that door being open. We don't know how far it was open, but you can see the edge of the bed. And you see the edge of the bed, and Xana was on the floor. So I don't know where. But as he was walking down this hallway, approaching this room, he saw a body before he even walked in the room. I don't know where Ethan was. They didn't say on the floor. They said she was. But I think she was between the bed and the wall. See this little space? Now, 1B is below. And we're not sure where the other roommate was, as far as I know. We don't know if she was right below Xana's room. She may have heard everything as well. She may have heard this struggle if she was in 1B. Hi, Miss Robin. Ezzy says apparently Ethan was by the well. That's why all the blood. Hey, Eric, welcome. I don't think she was in the bathroom. I think that the officer was just mentioning that there was a bathroom on the left. It's just the bad wording. The blood came from Xana's room for sure. Because right here is the foundation wall. See how small this wall is here? That's the part that sticks out right here. No, it doesn't state where Ethan was found. It says right here. Hold on. This is chilling. That view is chilling. It says Kernodle was deceased. Wait. Okay, as I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Kernodle's, laying on the floor. Kernodle was deceased with wounds, which appeared to have been caused by an edge weapon. Also in the room was a male, later identified as Ethan. It doesn't say where he was. He could have been on the bed sleeping. He could have gotten Ethan while she was out. Oh my gosh. What if he got Ethan while she went out to get the DoorDash, and that's why she was crying? Because she came back in and found him. And then he went back in there and killed her. Don't worry, I'll help you. And then killed her. What if that's what happened? What if Xana was wearing her Vans, went outside to get the DoorDash? He come in, attacks Ethan in bed, who was sleeping. And she comes in from getting the DoorDash, finds Ethan. She's crying. Kaylee says, someone's here. He's up, goes upstairs. They have the scuffle. He kills Kaylee and Madison. Then he hears that Xana's alive down there. And he goes in there and says, don't worry, I'll help you. And he kills her. And then he leaves. And the dog starts barking. The dog starts barking. And that's why he just beelined right out of there. He may have seen her. He may not. He may know that she saw him. And who knows? Like, if he knows that she saw him, that could be why she was so scared as well. I mean, there's enough to scare her. And I don't think I can repeat that because I don't even remember what I just said because it just came to me. But sure, it does. It definitely accounts for X being on TikTok. Oh, no, it doesn't. I don't know. It's so confusing. Like, we don't know if, like, they met eyes and he was so spooked that he just kept going because he knew that he didn't have time. Bonnie, Ashley, yes. Richard, yes. Yes. Okay, you guys. Cora Amaro was in shock after the attack that Richard Speck did on the nursing student's house that she hid under a bed for 6 hours. Do you think that she was victim blamed? No, because we didn't have assholes on social media then. Richard Speck's case was back in the 60s, I think. It was either the 60s or the 70s. And he stabbed a bunch of nursing students. And we should cover that case because I've been watching stuff on that lately. He's always creeped me out. Was the phone maybe left on TikTok? Yeah, because they didn't give the exact time of the DoorDash, but you know they have it. You know they have it. You think so, Perspective? Right. And he may get off on knowing that someone saw him, being that he had a mask on. Maybe he thought he wasn't identifiable. Maybe he knew there was someone in that room and deliberately left her. Just part of his game. Because like these other stabbings, there was survivors and the person didn't get caught. I think she really noticed those eyebrows, so she must have looked right at his face. She could have taken her phone outside. And I mean, if I went outside to get DoorDash, I would carry my phone with me. I would have my phone in my hand. I think E was sleeping. I think he passed out. Yeah, that Amy, I think so. Because she was wearing Vans in those photos that day. I'm going to go see Brian Etton's tweet, but Elon Musk says if I dig my grave deep enough, maybe it comes out the other side of Earth. Oh, God. Never a dull moment. Investigators, this is 10 minutes ago. Investigators are back at the crime scene in Moscow. Appears they have loaded mattresses into the back of several pickup trucks. They haven't taken their mattresses yet? There's the dog gate. She had like a dog gate, like a pen. Yeah, these are wrapped. I can't zoom. Dang it. Guys, what's in this? What's in this jug over here? What is that? This guy says you can see blood stains right here under the cover they put on it. Mm. Well, I think they wrapped them in these white things. Look on the top right corner. Bryan owns. Oh, really? Oh, Olive, I'm so glad you saw that. Bryan does own Vans. Olive, hi, Justice Jane. Olive just confirmed it. Yes, I did, Dawn. It looks like there's a lot of blood on that mattress. And anybody who blames that girl for hiding is out of their damn mind. Here's an order on the scene being preserved. It is hereby ordered that the crime scene located at 1122 King Road, including the home, its outbuildings, trailers, vehicles, shall be preserved, which means the house will be locked. Crime tape will remain. On-site police presence is not required. The crime scene will remain preserved until February 1st or until further order of the court. Oh, it could be for the defense. It is further ordered that all samples and evidence collected or generated by the state in this matter, including but not limited to bodily fluids, blood, tissues, notes, slides, photographs, or other relevant information, be held and preserved by the state for the defense. Gina Pickett, thank you so much. You're my new Roberta. Can't lie. I think so too, Olive. If Bryan's blood's on that mattress, then it's game over. Good point. Maybe they're doing reenactment or something. Who knows? Could BK go out the door and then come back in to see if DM was standing there? What do you mean? It was $3,000 a month, but that's for 6 bedrooms. But no, Auntie Cheryl, that can't be true. That can't be true. She had to have known about the carnage. Working on a 1-hour special on Friday night or Sunday night, 9 p.m. Former supervisor FBI agent McCrary says it's a good case. Yeah, I mean, people are going to have their opinions. But Auntie Cheryl, what was I saying? Oh yeah, that's what I was going to show you. She had to have known the carnage, and I'll show you why. So we're going to leave this room and we're going to go back by DM's room. In order for DM to get out, there's only 2 ways out. The murderer went out this way, right? The male walked towards the back sliding glass door. DM locked herself in her room. After seeing the male, DM did not state that she recognized the male. This leads investigators to believe that that the murderer left the scene. So for her to get out of this room, she had to go, if she went through this way, which I wouldn't because that's where I last saw the killer go. So I wouldn't go this way if I was her. I would go to the front door. I would make a clean break right for the front where when I go outside, everybody can freaking see me. And there's nothing to, hide me like trees and all that shit. This is wide ass open. I'm going to run over here and I am going to go downstairs. But when I go down that hallway, if I look down there, the cop saw a body. You think she didn't? You think she didn't? I would think that she would see. If she looked down there, she might see a body. And I think she heard all the struggles and the crying, and who knows what she heard after the crying, when the crying stopped, or how the crying stopped. What if she had her door cracked open while the crying stopped? Maybe she couldn't bear to look because of what she heard. You're right. But she knew the severity of this, of what happened. And I would have run down these stairs and either to my friend who I knew was in here or in that other room here, or straight up out this door. And I would call someone and I'd be like, I need you to come over here right now because I don't know what fucking happened here and I'm scared to death. Or she said, they're dead. They're all dead. She may have known they're all dead. We don't know what she said to those friends. We don't even know if she could speak when she called those friends. She may have called those friends hysterical and they just came over. What's wrong? We just don't know. Maybe she ran out of her room and made a run for it without her phone. I don't know. Run to neighbors and then go call 911. I mean, I don't know. She must have seen something where she thought somebody was passed out. She wasn't sure. I mean, are you really going to go to they're dead unless you actually saw it? Like, I don't think that if you're 19 years old, your thought is going to go to they're dead. Maybe you might go to they're hurt. There was a fight. And that would be Beth. That would be DM's room right here. But if you look here, like at the roof, they're not going to hear necessarily. Well, I don't know. We don't know if both of them knew. KM, I heard nothing about that. Yeah, I mean, what would you say if you called? Like, she probably wouldn't even know what to say. So they went up and looked and she passed out. Holy hell. Perspective 2. Question. Do you believe the suspect was influenced by professors? Professors expert in the field. Professors reviewed questionnaire with suspect. Maybe suspect wanted to be suspect for a professor's book. I think that's like kind of a conspiracy. I don't think that professors are going to like, I think that the professors have enough knowledge and um like know how to actually interview previous killers. I don't think that you're going to find a professor that wanted to see these people die just like he did. I think that you find someone like him, once every 30 years. Do we get someone this deranged? So that's our tour. Do you guys want to see anything else? I'll put this in the description of the video. Let's move into the Google Earth for a second. Well, not for a second. For a few minutes. Let's Google Earth it. Okay, can you guys see that okay? Well, Cheryl, that's about something else, though. I mean, to say you don't trust professors to like be unbiased, like politically about like, society issues and stuff like that, but to actually think that they would want one of their students to murder so they could write a book, I think that's kind of crazy. Yeah, I think that he did his own project, and I think it's like it went too far. Maybe the 911 call is not accurate either because they wanted to hide what they really said to protect the witnesses. You know what? That could be. They could say that the call came from a roommate's phone, but the roommate didn't make the call. Maybe because the killer saw her and she was scared to death. Hey, no problem, you guys. I love showing you guys new stuff that we find. It's why I do this. Okay. So let's look at Google Earth and let's look at. We're going to do this again with Google Earth and get a little more detailed when I have the team up here with me, because what I want to do is I want to actually go through the route that they said he took, because he took a different route when he left. And I kind of wanted to, look at all of that. But I wanted to Google Earth down by his apartments. And I wanted to ask you guys another question. Do you think it's weird hang on. And now I forgot what I was going to say. Shit. Okay, so do I think PA would have kept him? I don't know, hole in one. I would have to ask someone in law enforcement that question. I don't know that. But don't you think it's weird that we haven't gotten a press conference from the prosecutor in this case yet? He had his arraignment. Why haven't they given a press conference talking about the movements in the case? That was it, Leo or Elsie Onesies. we always get the prosecutor coming out telling us how strong the case is and everything else. Oh, the gag order. Duh. See, this is why I have you guys. I can't remember everything all the time. That makes me feel a little bit better. Do you guys think that Bryan had someone that he confided in about this at all? Or do you think it was strictly just him? No, they are gagged. The lawyers, that's right. Everyone, the lawyers, the judges, law enforcement, they're all gagged. Come on, mods. I'm blocking on my phone. I know y'all can see them. So this is the route, one of the routes between Pullman and Moscow. You think he spoke to someone online anonymously, like through his thingy? I don't think his dad, I don't know. I agree, Kevin. Bryan needs to be gagged. I think that we're assuming they didn't, Aaron. I think a scream is what actually spooked him and the dog. Because, like I said, if they caught faint sounds and the dog barking on the camera 50 feet from Xana's bedroom on the next house, they would definitely catch screams. Kami, welcome, Roberta. Daryl Brooks needs to be, yeah, Roberta. He should have been gagged. Do you guys think that he did any kind of gagging or binding like the BTK killer that he was familiar with? I don't think he had time. He was in and out of there in 25 minutes tops. Yeah, call me Jen. That's weird, but we don't know what Bryan was saying. Someone from the airline screenshotted Dad's flights. He bought them the night before he left. I don't know if I believe that. I would think that that would be evidence, part of the evidence, part of this whole story. That person would get in big trouble. You don't think he did any of that? I don't either. Is it Steptoe Apartments? Steptoe. That's the other house, correct. The house right next door. That's the one that's blurred out. That's the house where the camera was. Where's Valley Road? Oh, right here. Yep. So the murders in 99 that were unsolved happened in these apartments right here on Valley Road. And Creepo lived in these. So he was literally right behind where unsolved stabbing occurred. Hi, Jeff Kent. Connie, we can't even do that anymore. We can't even go there anymore. That has lost its credibility, I think. And you can't drop the little Google guy down here either. Oh, wait. Oh, everything's going to be flat. Unlike Brian's nose. All right. Well, we're going to do a deeper dive into the Google Earth and also of the routes that he took to and from Moscow. That is in the Discovery. So I think we'll do that on the next live. And if you guys have anything that you want to send the team or myself, I'm going to put the email in the chat right now. Then I'm going to play you guys a video. So if you find anything that you find interesting, feel free to send it to the team email. All right, let me find the video that I wanted to play. Just bear with me, guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you have not liked this video, please do.
Roberta.
And I'm having like a total brain fart right now because there was something I wanted to play you guys. Oh, I know what it was. It was on NBC News last night. And I want to get your opinion on this. Let me make sure this is the right video. It just aired, I think, yesterday. I'm having to go through my thank you, Karen. But this is a really good video. You know, see, I need to turn off autoplay because I lose all my really good videos. Because it gets buried. Oh, you know what? I'll share with that part about Draw Latina too. She talks about the trauma. That's interesting. And I'll give you guys her link so you guys can go subscribe. I found it. It was the nightly news with Lester Holt, January the 5th. And are you guys all familiar with Mark Garagos? If you're not familiar with Mark Garagos is very, very well-known attorney. He actually defended Scott Peterson in his first trial. He's been involved in a lot of high-profile cases as a defense attorney. And he gives his, and I've always respected him. You guys know Harry accused William of a physical attack? I didn't know that. But I've always respected him, but I don't know what to think about. I think this is the report with him. He gives his opinion, and I'm just like, he lost me there. Maybe it's not this Lester. Damn it. Dang it. It's not. Sorry. I'll find it. Hold on. Yeah, because it wasn't Lester Holt interviewing him. Did I send that to you guys in chat last night? I think I did. Yep, I got it. Thank God. Thank you for being patient, guys. This isn't always the easiest to juggle. Okay, here we go. Let's watch this.
In that knife sheath, you got to consider that this is basically an extension of the murder weapon left at the scene, and on that knife sheath, DNA evidence. Tonight, for the first time, Bryan Kohberger appearing in an Idaho court after being extradited from Pennsylvania, where he was arrested.
This is State of Idaho versus Bryan C. Kohberger.
Charged in the gruesome murder of 4 University of Idaho students.
The maximum penalty for that offense, if you plead guilty or are found guilty, is not less than 1 year in prison, no more than 10 years in prison, and or a $50,000 fine or both. Do you understand?
Yes. And now, chilling new details revealed about the massacre investigators say was carried out in the dead of night.
And FYI, I don't think that voice sounds like the laptop guy when he says yes. And I'm going to rewind and let you guys hear it real quick. It's one word, obviously, but I really don't think it sounds like the same guy.
Extradited from Pennsylvania, where he was arrested.
This is State of Idaho versus Bryan C. Kohberger.
Charged in the gruesome murder of 4 University of Idaho students.
The maximum
And I think Garagos might actually call him Kohberger. Somebody in this clip calls him Kohberger.
penalty for that offense, if you plead guilty or are found guilty, is not less than 1 year in prison, no more than 10 years in prison, and or a $50,000 fine or both. Do you understand?
Yes. And now, chilling new details revealed about the massacre investigators say was carried out in the dead of night. In an 18-page affidavit, police laying out a triad of probable cause, a DNA profile, a white Hyundai Elantra, and cell phone data. The documents revealing that one of the surviving roommates in the house was awake. At one point, she opened her door and heard noises coming from upstairs around 4 a.m. First, she thought it was one of the victims, Kaylee Gonzalez, playing with her dog, but then she says she heard something to the effect of, "There's someone here." Then later, an unknown male voice saying something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." That roommate also telling authorities she saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's face and nose walking towards her, adding she saw a figure as 5'10" or taller, male, not
this
very
isn't
muscular,
Garagos?
but athletically built
Yeah, it is.
with bushy eyebrows. But she locked herself in her room. The report also
It
noting
comes
that
later.
a nearby security camera captured what sounded like voices or a whimper, followed by a loud thud. Why 911 wasn't called for...
Oh, the loud thud, too. Whimpers and a loud thud.
Investigators say was carried out in the dead of night. In an 18-page affidavit, police laying out a triad of probable cause, a DNA profile, a white Hyundai Elantra, and cell phone data. The documents revealing that one of the surviving roommates in the house was awake. At one point, she opened her door and heard noises coming from upstairs around 4 a.m. First, she thought it was one of the victims, Kaylee Gonzalez, playing with her dog, but then she says she heard something to the effect of, "There's someone here." Then later, an unknown male voice saying something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." That roommate also telling authorities she saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's face and nose walking towards her, adding she saw a figure as 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. But she locked herself in her room. The report also noting that a nearby security camera captured what sounded like voices or a whimper, followed by a loud thud. Why 911 wasn't called for hours still remains unclear. And then there was the physical...
But you know what? Even though they didn't get a license plate number, there's still the difference that Pennsylvania doesn't make you have a front license plate and Washington and Idaho do. And in the surveillance camera, it didn't have the front license plate. He got the front license plate because he switched them 5 days later.
Physical evidence allegedly linking Kohberger to the crime scene. Authorities say after a knife sheath similar to this one was found next to victim Madison Mogan, the lab, quote, located a single source of male DNA suspect profile left on the button. Additionally, agents recovered trash from the Kohberger's Pennsylvania house that, when tested, revealed a possible DNA match to the sheath through Kohberger's father's DNA. The document also lays out how police used video surveillance to track a white Hyundai Elantra's movements the night of the murders, later identifying the vehicle as Kohberger's and using a previous traffic stop to identify his cell phone number. Investigators allege that...
I know you guys are saying that you think he had a mentor or something, but isn't it altogether possible that he maybe used the professors and the people that he knew and made it sound like it was for, you know, a thesis or a paper or some kind of research that he was going to do?
There's someone here. Then later, an unknown male voice saying something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." That roommate also telling authorities she saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's face and nose walking towards her, adding she saw a figure as 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. But she locked herself in her room. The report also noting that a nearby security camera captured what sounded like voices or a whimper followed by a loud thud. Why 911 wasn't called for hours still remains unclear. And then there was the physical evidence allegedly linking Kohberger to the crime scene. Authorities say after a knife sheath similar to this one was found next to victim Matt.
See, there's the one we looked at that you can buy anywhere. Tracy, 10 months. Love you too, girl. Tracy B. Punani. Thank you, Punani.
Madison Mogan, the lab, quote, located a single source of male DNA, suspect profile left on the button. Additionally, agents recovered trash from the Kohberger's Pennsylvania house that, when tested, revealed a possible DNA match to the sheath through Kohberger's father's DNA. The document also lays out how police used video surveillance to track a white Hyundai Elantra's movements the night of the murders, later identifying the vehicle as Kohberger's and using a previous traffic stop to identify his cell phone number. Investigators allege the night of the murder, Kohberger's cell phone was turned off shortly before 3 a.m. while he was in Pullman, Washington. Then the phone reappeared on the cell phone network just before 5 a.m. near Moscow, Idaho. Using data collected from cell phone towers, investigators believe this was an attempt to, quote, conceal his location during the quadruple homicide. The data also revealing Kohberger's cell phone was tracked moving again later that morning, traveling back to Idaho from Pullman, Washington, this time near the crime scene between 9:12 a.m. and 9:21. But when investigators dug a little deeper, they note Kohberger's cell phone had traveled to the area of the victim's residence on at least 12 occasions prior to the night of the murders. Missing from the affidavit, a suggestion of motive or any connection between Kohberger and the victims. Even with all this new public information, prosecutors still have to explain in court.
I am going to leave the bail set of this case as no bail at this point in time until I have additional and further information.
Okay, Gotti Schwartz joins us again tonight. So, Gotti, talk to me about Kohberger's demeanor. By now, he may have some clue of the evidence allegedly against him.
Tom, we were sitting about 15 feet away from him, watching him the entire proceeding. And I got to say, it's difficult to describe his demeanor because he never gave any expression or indication of what he was thinking. He kept a very straight facial expression. He leaned forward. He answered the questions very succinctly, very directly to the judge, but no expression at all.
And then you've been speaking to the families throughout this. A lot of grisly and difficult details released today. Do we know how some of those family members of the victims are doing tonight?
Yeah, Tom, they have been preparing for this for quite some time, and we've talked about that. I've asked them, and they said that they want to be steadfast. They want to make sure that this process is as thorough as possible, and they want to make sure that the killer is brought to justice. So,
all right.
How can something like this be left behind? And I know there's a theory that possibly sometimes killers leave things behind on purpose. Where's your head at on this one?
Yeah, there have been some reports. I don't think they've been confirmed yet, but I've seen reports that there might have been signs of a struggle, at least with one of the victims. There's some evidence perhaps of defensive wounds. We've got to wait to see how that comes out. But if there was a struggle, even
okay, Garagos
just
is coming up, guys, I promise.
Multiple stab wounds, which is what this affidavit speaks to. Yes, you could actually lose the sheath. It could not be buckled properly onto your belt, or it could have come loose. Or, as you suggest, we could be dealing with someone who's simply too smart for his own good. He might have thought, I'm going to leave this behind and see if they catch me. I don't know, but as Jim says, this is a dream come true for forensic experts. You've got his DNA not only on the knife sheath, it's on the snap button, meaning that's what he would have had to engage to remove the sheath. So
right.
It's damning. There's also great evidence. How did they get the DNA? They pulled it in Pennsylvania off the trash from his parents' home.
Yeah, the police work has been incredible. I do want to bring in someone else into this conversation. Famed criminal defense attorney Mark Garagos, who's represented everyone from convicted killer Scott Peterson to Gary Condit to Michael Jackson to Jussie Smollett. Mark Garagos, thanks for joining us right now. You've defended people who are guilty. You've defended people who are not guilty, high-profile defendants. Does anything in this case right now worry you as far as the legal investigation is concerned? Is there anything investigators left out possibly, or do you see any mistakes so far, or do you think this is a pretty tight case?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't want to disagree with my two friends and predecessor commentators here, but this is hardly an open and shut case. In fact, I think that the reason that this is such a detailed probable cause affidavit is that police were pushing back against a lot of media speculation and the public's perception that they weren't doing much. Frankly, I will tell you that there are some gigantic opportunities for the defense here. First of all, this is not a one-on-one match of DNA yet. If you read the probable cause affidavit, they've excluded.
Okay, so he's saying he's going to talk about the dad's DNA being used. But we have to figure, okay, the defense can try all these things and delay and be a pain in the ass. But if it's 99.99 whatever, his dad, I mean, it's got to be his. But they're going to, he's talking about arguing semantics. But this did worry me a little bit because I do have a lot of respect for Mr. Garagos as a lawyer.
Included 99 point whatever percent based on the father's DNA, not his DNA. So they're going to obviously take a swab from him if they haven't already. That's number one. Number two, the supposed DNA found on the button, that doesn't mean a thing. If it was on the knife, I would grant you that that would be something. However, on the sheet, there isn't anything that they talk about that is going to take you beyond a reasonable doubt on that. Number three, the other glaring hole that they're going to talk about is there's rank speculation that somehow he must have turned his phone off, because the problem is, and I was wondering about this because I've had it in so many murder cases, I assumed that one of the first things they did was go and take a look at the cell phone service. Now, the cell phone service is not like GPS. Cell phone service is when you've got a phone.
This worried me because we know when the YouTubers were out at King Road, they did not have cell phone service. So good thing they have the videos, and hopefully they can, seal tight that is his car. But hearing him say this, I mean, this is a prominent defense attorney.
And you're making a call, it will go to various locations, cell phone antennas. The problem with that is if there is too much or not enough traffic at one, automatically it shifts to another. And because you're within a 7-mile radius, that means somebody could be sitting at his home and it could show him at another cell phone antenna location. I've had them where the cell phone antenna locations have shifted by 25 miles within 3 minutes. So that's not going to give you it. And there is no cell phone triangulation for the time.
Wait, we have two Mary P's. I am so confused. That is so weird.
Period of the killings. So before everybody gets on this prosecutorial bandwagon here, you better sit back, because I believe that there are some glaring holes here that his public defender is going to have a field day with.
Well, let's hope that Mark Garagos isn't hooking him up with a public defender, because he seems awfully excited about this, doesn't he?
I want to bring in Danny Savalas now. He's one of our NBC News legal analysts. I want you to take sort of the side of the prosecutors here. You've gone through the affidavit. You just heard from a very well-known, very well-respected.
Okay, now this guy here is going to rebuttal what Garagos just said, and we're going to listen to that.
Mark is one of the best in the business.
I saw you over here, and you were dying to jump in here.
Love Mark.
Give me the rebuttal. What do you think about the affidavit and the evidence against Kohberger right now?
So Mark knows I admire him. I would respectfully, I agree with him on the cell phone. He's absolutely right. It's not GPS. And this technology where you take the cell phone location based on the ping off of the tower, well, that could move, like he said, miles within seconds because your cell phone just chooses a new tower. So I agree, that's not as reliable. But there is video evidence of this Hyundai Elantra going around the neighborhood numerous times. I do think the DNA evidence is compelling. The affidavit says 99.999, and you really, nowadays with modern technology, you just need a relative to get close enough. And I think the prosecution, even if they didn't get the suspect's DNA, they'd be perfectly happy arguing 99.9% or the dad's DNA to a jury, and they'd take their chances with that. But Mark is right. I mean,
explain. Is that very hard to explain to a jury, or can you walk them through it?
The DNA evidence?
Connection, yeah, how that all works.
Well, typically, even when they call an expert, as heady or difficult to understand as DNA evidence is, most jurors, and I think Mark would agree, have been raised on a steady diet of CSI. Yeah. So they're more willing, they're more receptive to the idea of DNA. In fact, in my experience, trying cases, jurors come to expect DNA evidence. And in a way, it actually hurts law enforcement if they don't have it, because jurors have become rather spoiled. They expect, oh, every case has DNA evidence and it's going to be in there. And if it isn't there, that must mean the police may have done something wrong. So I think the compelling pieces are the sheath left at the crime scene, the video evidence, and of course, I do think the DNA evidence is compelling. And I just got to say this, Tom, because last week, when the suspect was apprehended, I got this question all the time. Well, do you think that because this guy was a PhD in criminology, that he might be able to commit the perfect crime?
He says no.
And at the time, I said, no way. Criminology, I mean, that could be a sociological study. It doesn't make you a master criminal. And if this ends up, this affidavit of probable cause is accurate, and this defendant is guilty,
this is crazy.
This was not the perfect crime.
He says not the perfect crime. Okay, look, you guys. No wonder I couldn't find it. Why has NBC News made this video unlisted? Why did they unlist this video? Weird. Good thing I had it in my history. Oh, I don't think he would get rid of the knife. I think that knife was a prized possession of his. I wouldn't be surprised if they had the knife and they're just not saying. Why did they put it on listed? Isn't that crazy? So one thing I want to end on, and we don't know if it's on anything else, Roger. We're just told they just put enough in there to hold him. Yeah, they had to private it probably because of the case. But I don't know, maybe because, I don't know, is Garagos involved and he's under a gag order now? It means you can't see it. If you go to their site, you can't see it. What do you guys want to hear? The whole thing? Or... where do you want me to start? Because it was long, remember? I mean, this is just part of it. This whole thing is an hour and 15 minutes long. So they talk about other stuff. I mean, they talk about, you know, politics, and here's more on this. I didn't see this part.
Male voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you."
Is this just a repeat? No, it's not. Let's see this part. I didn't see this one. This is an hour and 15-minute video, and we'll watch Mark Garagos again.
Coming on the air with some shakeups big time on Capitol Hill.
How much water ultimately will be forced inland?
Whenever it happens, wherever.
Now, so are reporting low or no water pressure.
I don't know where it went. All right, let's go back to Garagos one more time. Where did he go? Where are you, Garagos? Is this the same report? Where did it go? Oh, here it is. I'm getting really confused now. It had to be right at the beginning. Oh, here it is. Sorry. I'm like, this is a conspiracy. It's gone. Oh, no. I had a Roberta moment. Okay, here we go.
Forensic experts, you've got his DNA not only on the knife sheath, it's on the snap button, meaning that's what he would have had to engage to remove the sheath. So it's damning. There's also great evidence. How did they get the DNA? They pulled it in.
They don't have to say it's a death penalty case yet. They have time.
Pennsylvania off the trash from his parents' home.
Yeah, the police work has been incredible. I do want to bring in someone else into this conversation. Famed criminal defense attorney Mark Garagos, who's represented everyone from convicted killer Scott Peterson to Gary Condit to Michael Jackson to Jussie Smollett. Mark Garagos, thanks for joining us right now. You've defended people who are guilty. You've defended people who are not guilty, high-profile defendants. Does anything in this case right now worry you as far as the legal investigation is concerned? Is there anything investigators left out possibly, or do you see any mistakes so far, or do you think this is a pretty tight case?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't want to disagree with my two friends and predecessor commentators here, but this is hardly an open and shut case. In fact, I think that the reason that this is such a detailed probable cause affidavit is that police were pushing back against a lot of media speculation and the public's perception that they weren't doing much. Frankly, I will tell you that there are some gigantic opportunities for the defense here. First of all, this is not a one-on-one match of DNA yet. If you read the probable cause affidavit, they've excluded 99.whatever% based on the father's DNA, not his DNA. So they're going to obviously take a swab from him if they haven't already. That's number one. Number two, the supposed DNA found on the button, that doesn't mean a thing. If it was on the knife, I would grant you that that would be something. However, on the sheath, there isn't anything that they talk about that is going to take you beyond a reasonable doubt on that. Number three, the other glaring hole that they're going to talk about is there's rank speculation that somehow he must have turned his phone off, because the problem is, and I was wondering about this because I've had it in so many murder cases, I assumed that one of the first things they did was go and take a look at the cell phone service. Now, the cell phone service is not like GPS. Cell phone service is when you've got a phone and you're making a call, it will go to various locations, cell phone antennas. The problem with that is if there is too much or not enough traffic at one, automatically it shifts to another. And because you're within a 7-mile radius, that means somebody could be sitting at his home and it could show him at another cell phone antenna location. I've had them where the cell phone antenna locations have shifted by 25 miles within 3 minutes. So that's not going to give you it. And there is no cell phone triangulation for the time period of the killings. So before everybody gets on this prosecutorial bandwagon here, you better sit back, because I believe that there are some glaring holes here that his public defender is going to have a field day with.
I want to bring in Danny Savalas now. He's one of our NBC News legal analysts. I want you to take sort of the side of the prosecutors here. Sure. You've gone through the affidavit. You just heard from a very well-known, very well-respected criminal defense attorney.
Best in the business.
I saw you over here, and you were dying to jump in here.
Love Mark.
Give me the rebuttal. What do you think about the affidavit and the evidence against Kohberger right now.
So Mark knows I admire him. I would respectfully, I agree with him on the cell phone. He's absolutely right. It's not GPS. And this technology where you take the cell phone location based on the ping off of the tower, well, that could move, like he said, miles within seconds because your cell phone just chooses a new tower. So I agree, that's not as reliable. But there is video evidence of this Hyundai Elantra going around the neighborhood numerous times. I do think the DNA evidence is compelling. The affidavit says 99.9998. And you really, nowadays with modern technology, you just need a relative to get close enough. And I think the prosecution, even if they didn't get the suspect's DNA, they'd be perfectly happy arguing 99.9% or the dad's DNA to a jury, and they'd take their chances with that. But Mark is right.
I mean, explain. Is that very hard to explain to a jury, or can you walk them through it?
The DNA evidence?
Connection, yeah, how that all works.
Well, typically, even when they call an expert, as heady or difficult to understand as DNA evidence is, most jurors, and I think Mark would agree, have been raised on a steady diet of CSI. Yeah. So they're more willing, they're more receptive to the...
Okay, so there you go. I don't know if... I think that you might be right. Jetta, this man is why they took it down. It taints the jury pool. But do you guys think that he took a hodgepodge of different crimes and put them together? And I'm not trying to sound like, you know, like a big conspiracy person or anything like that. But, I mean, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Because we saw a lot of truths come out of the Reddit now that we've had this affidavit come out and we're able to put like some things together. Where did that video go? Oh, here it is. Okay. I have a video that I made that I want to play for you guys. And then we're going to talk about Richard Speck for a second so that I can let you know what we're going to be talking about in the next live. Because I think you guys are going to be shook-ith by that crime. And you're going to be like, oh my God, there's a little bit of Bryan in every, like, there's a little bit of Bryan in all these different cases. It's craziness. But I want to show you guys this. So the TikTok dude flashed a pair of $300 Oxford dress shoes. Now, we remember that if you did watch the OJ trial, a big part of the evidence was his Bruno Amagli shoe and the bloody shoe print at the scene. There was also a bloody glove that was found next to his house. So this guy's all about playing games, in my opinion. And he wants to be known for this. I think he knows he's useless. And maybe he was getting risky and getting caught because he wants to be known for this. And to blow people's minds. To be bigger than BTK. Watch this. Most of us remember this tragic, gory scene when Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman were massacred in front of Nicole Brown Simpson's condo. During the O.J. Simpson trial, there were several key pieces of evidence that were widely debated. Of course, the bloody glove that was found beside O.J.'s house, but also the infamous shoe print from a Bruno Magli shoe, which O.J. owned. The cryptic TikTok user, Josco1972, flashed a website in his latest video. It took me back to the OJ trial and those shoes. Was this a clue, or are we just being played? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Hey, Sam, how do you like my little videos? Are you impressed? Sam is like amazing at videography. All right, so before we conclude this live, I want to thank all of you guys, 1,400 of you here, for being here. And I want to show you what we're going to talk about in the next live. We're going to do the Google Earth, but we're going to talk about this case. And this is crime scene photos from Richard Speck murder. he murdered nursing students. He broke into a nursing student home where it was a bunch of nursing students, kind of like a sorority, but not. And he bludgeoned them to death with a knife. Yes. Ha, thanks, Sam. Take care, CEO. So, I mean, we have to imagine that maybe this scene could have been similar to King Road. I mean, this is horrific, but so similar. These are the girls. Now, I'm going to show you what Richard Speck looked like. There's so much footage on this case. It's crazy. Let's take a look at Richard Speck, and I think you're going to be shook. You think that Bryan looks like Ted Bundy? Look at this dude. Look at that face. Can you imagine this being the last face you see as well? Yes, 8 nurses he killed. Here's his mugshot. Yeah, he was Vivian. He was very, very, very sick. Disgusting. But this is going to be an interesting one to go over. He's got those same eyes. I mean, it's just, it's the eyes. So yeah, we will definitely go over this case. Yeah, the dead eyes. He wanted to be like James Dean. I know it's disgusting. And I think that there's just a little bit of, like, he's sprinkled all of these past murders. Look at this one. This could be Bryan. This is Richard Speck. Look at that. That looks like his high school yearbook. How is this possible? It's so weird how all these killers really look alike. They resemble each other. Dick Speck. Doesn't he, though? He looks like that high school yearbook picture. It's really, really weird. All right, you guys, will make sure that if you're replaying this, that you comment below, because we're going to be starting doing a segment at the end of every show. And it's going to be called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And I'm going to read your comments. So every show will end with a good, bad, and the ugly. We'll do good, bad, and ugly comments. And we will laugh because that's what we do here. Thank you so much, Megan Holly. Only found your channel with this case, but thank you for the care and respect you show when discussing these things. It's so refreshing. You're a gift. You are a gift as well. Thank you. And I wouldn't have it any other way. We are not going to bash victims here, and we are going to put the responsibility where the responsibility lies, and that is with Bryan Kohberger. So I want to say thank you guys for being here. You guys are amazing. Say goodbye to Cactus and Elon. Elon says it's time to cool out for the evening. So thanks so much. Punani, you have your own soundbite. And thank you for all the members that joined today and were gifted memberships. You guys are what keeps this channel going and allowing me to do what I love to do. And that is be here for you guys and bring you the latest in true crime and breaking news. So if you would like to see more, please do subscribe to my channel and consider becoming a member. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Dance it out until then. Bye, guys.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. 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 You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to France, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day,